Hey, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that commercial there by our wonderful sponsors, and we
We
appreciate.
got a wonderful sponsor.
We do.
When did we get a wonderful sponsor?
Well, whatever. Maybe
Just
between
a
part
sponsor
one
would
and
be
part
nice.
two,
A
maybe you went to the
Any
fridge.
sponsor. That'd be wonderful. Any sponsor would be great.
You know, but during the commercial break there, the playoffs.
Yes. Tonight,
Okay.
the Mets and the Giants.
The Mets and the Giants,
Go Giants.
and you've got the Giants winning.
I got the Giants winning because I picked them before we ever started because it's the even year and they're gonna win. But
Who are the Giants beating in the World Series?
the Giants are going to. I'm not sure the Giants are going to make the World Series.
How can they win the whole
Well,
thing,
exactly.
even year? This is, I mean,
I know.
All
well,
season
you know,
I've been hearing that.
I think that
I'm-
the Giants are going to win the whole thing.
I have to go-
but they're not going to make it to the World Series.
I have to go with it. I have to go with the Giants winning it all. But I'm telling you right now, I think the Cubs are the better
The
team.
Cubs are going to win.
Oh,
And so I
the
think
Cubs are the better team.
So I would, you know,
The better team doesn't
They don't always win.
usually almost never wins.
And that would be okay if the Cubs won and the Giants didn't. I'd be okay being wrong, just because I'd like to see the curse ended for Cubs fans.
Yes.
You know, just get it over with.
And I'm not a Cubs fan. I'm right here and
Right.
right there. So, but the Cubs are who I'm.
And I have one
That's
of my
just-
and I have one of my students who's a big St. Louis fan, Cardinals fan, and he said he would cry if the Cubs won. So I kind of want to see him cry. So
Oh, yeah.
I want to see him
River
cry.
of tears.
Yeah, I want to have a meme of him crying, you know, like crying Jordan. We have crying Alex. I just want to have that.
And the Cardinals didn't make it.
No, they didn't, and he was a little upset by it. He was a little bummed by that. But
And
he
they even
over
got
that.
a gift of that one game on the ground rule double.
Oh yeah, that
That
shouldn't
was
have been
ridiculous.
And he was so upset. He's like, all the stinking Giants had to do, all the stinking Dodgers had to do was win one game, and they didn't win one game. I'm like, well, okay, well, you know, they probably didn't want to, but you know they wanted to. You know the Dodgers wanted to knock the Giants out of it. But you asked me who that.
So you got the Cubs and Red Sox, the World Series that no one ever thought would occur.
No.
That's the World Series that the television people want.
Oh, can you imagine?
Can you imagine ratings?
Could you imagine if the Red Sox hadn't won in 04?
Oh my God! One of those would break the curse. I mean, you know, that would be the series. But no, I think the Rangers. I'm picking the Rangers. I think they're a hot team. I don't know a whole lot about them, but you know, I think if you win it and you get a chance.
So you're going with both number one seeds.
No, I'm going with the Giants.
I thought you said the Cubs.
No, I'm still sticking with the Giants. I just said I don't
You
think
just
they're going to
think-
win. But I'm still sticking with them. I'm still
So
sticking
you
with
got
my
the
pick.
Giants over the Rangers.
I got the Giants over the Rangers. Yes.
I-
And no one will watch it
Cubs
on
over,
the East Coast.
Probably not. Cubs over Red Sox is my pick. I really think that it's going to be the Cubs. I mean, like I said before 1,000 times, it's the kiss of death. If I'm saying
I don't. The only team I've,
It's the Cubs.
in my mind, the only playoff team I've kind of ruled out is the Orioles.
Yeah, they're out of it.
So I don't think the Orioles.
They have the Braves have as good a chance.
The
to win
Braves,
against
the
the
Braves,
Orioles.
Twins, yeah, it's like
Okay.
Everybody's got as good a shot as they do to win it. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, last night that happened on the walk off. But still, it was a great. It
was a great
reaction.
See, I think I like the Red Sox. However, pitching wins in the postseason, and it's just not.
Who's got the best pitching staff?
Someone will shut them down.
Who's got the best pitching staff then in the AL?
The Blue Jays.
they're strong. I mean, that's well, not just because I watched it yesterday. They've got good pitching.
No, but they didn't even win their division.
But they're in.
You don't.
The Giants.
The Marlins have two World
Right, but
Series.
I'm not saying
Hey.
the Giants have the best pitching staff either. You guys have said Toronto has the best pitching staff.
The
They-
Marlins
one of them.
have won two World Series. They've never won an Eastern title.
That's not the point.
Wild card teams.
The point is, you're saying they have the best pitching staff, and I'm saying I don't think they have the best pitching staff because they didn't win their own
And I'll
division.
tell you, the other stuff.
You don't
that,
need-
in the American League. Cleveland looks. I mean,
See, I think Cleveland has the best pitching
yeah.
staff.
And they made
Yeah.
the move at the end to get the one guy, the piece. Andrew Miller. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
I think they have the best staff, but I don't know that pitching always
you don't-
wins in the postseason.
Ask the Braves.
Yeah, clearly not.
Yeah.
No, I mean it doesn't help to have a
Three-
staff. It doesn't help to have the best fourth starter in base. On
All you need is a hot hitting streak and with the bats.
you need two stud starters and a bullpen that can shut it down.
You just need to outscore the other team by one run, 2 games, and you win. Right?
That's usually
That's usually if you're playing a best of 5 series.
I've looked at that.
You win
And
3 games by 3 runs.
Not
you win.
hits, not it's the team usually with the most runs usually wins 100%.
99.9% of the time.
pretty much. That's what I read.
Yeah, that's yogiism. And so I think you just got to look at who gets hot, where they're played, You know, some momentum gets built by one team. I think the first games, to me, I mean, it's not rocket science. I'm not the only one that thinks this. I think anybody that's ever thought about baseball, you need to win game one. You win game one, you have a better chance of winning a short series.
And something else, and bounce it off you, and I was just thinking, and it's where sports is headed, and the ticket and the this and the time and everything like that. And I think it's one of the reasons where the pitching is every fifth day. Mm-hmm. You're on Sunday and you need to get in. You had to use your stud, but it usually would cost you.
Right.
Because if you use him now, he's not going to be able to pitch until game 3 or 4.
Exactly.
Now, when your series doesn't start until Friday,
Right.
that's ridiculous.
I think so too.
And I get your thought on that, because the other part, and what I want to add is, it adds to more to the pitching dominance. Because if you're not seeing live pitching for 5 days, I really think it affects your hitting.
It does, and you know it's not as bad as the NBA playoffs, which is 2 weeks between each game in the finals. But I mean, it is. It takes a big difference if you haven't seen pitching, like you just said.
The Tigers 3 years ago, they mowed through the series division, they mowed through the ALCS, then they had to sit for 7 days, and they were flat against the Giants.
Yeah, they were.
Remember?
And I think that may be why the wild card teams have had the advantage, because
They don't stop.
Yeah, they're still seeing.
I never thought of that, but
They're
you
still
bring up
seeing
a great point.
that, you know, they faced live pitching last night. If you're on the American League side,
take
if you're
one day
National League
off.
side, you get 1 day off, and then you start.
While the other team's been sitting around for 4 days.
4 or 5 days.
And if you're in your division, you know, or your league, I mean, if your league goes a 7-game series and the other league goes a 4-game series,
And
It's the same
in
thing.
basketball, it helps
It's
those
ridiculous in
teams
basketball.
with the veterans because
recover.
you recover and whatever. In baseball, you just finished 7 months.
Right, you don't want days off.
no,
You know,
it's a marathon.
You're used to playing and then going. And I think even the television scheduling now of having American League. You remember the days when we were growing up and you'd have an afternoon game at 2 o'clock,
Yeah.
and you'd have a 5:30 game that would start, and then you'd have a 7:30 game, then you'd have a 9 o'clock game. You have all 4 games in the series all on the same days.
Yep.
on networks you could watch.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
exactly
I texted
that.
you last night. I mean,
Yeah.
last night
TBS.
TBS. And nothing against TBS. I watched quite a bit back when the Braves were on every day.
Yeah, I watched
But
them all the time.
For
It's
the
different.
Major League Baseball playoffs are going to be on TBS, TNT, and True TV. True TV.
No one
And
gets true TV.
I
ESPN
I
has a game
texted.
at night. ESPN
What?
has a game at night.
Fine, and they'll do some
But-
here and there,
but-
but this is ridiculous. And what I texted you last
Yeah.
night because I was so ticked off at the TBS, I couldn't find it. I checked ESPN, I checked ABC, I checked
The vice presidential
network.
debate was on everywhere.
on everything. But here's the whole point. And I said to you, I said, if MLB PR people were in charge of the NFL, the Super Bowl would be on the Food Network.
Or HGTV.
Or
at least.
HGTV. That's exactly
Because-
true, though.
Yeah.
And MLB does everything they can to shoot themselves in the foot.
It's just ridiculous.
Well, it's all about money, guys. It's not.
No, it
I
is.
don't. You can't. But you can't lay that at the foot of MLB, because MLB, I'm sure, did not turn down a more lucrative offer from ESPN or Fox. The fact is, the TBS series, CBS Sports, and TBS, I think they're all together since they do the basketball
NCAA tournament.
that sports part of that laid down some major cash to buy the rights. And if you're MLB, you don't care how many people
Then,
watch it.
so basically, then you lay down the groundwork. You're fine, but you're going to put us on CBS, and the days of the AL, all the AL games were on NBC, and the others were on CBS, and then all of a sudden in the World Series they would rotate between the two or something like that. But that means if I have ESPN and I sit there and throw out the major cash and get the contract, and then I put on the games on ESPN Classic, which only look, if CBS gets it, then show it on CBS. We don't want your little granddaughter redheaded stepchild station.
What's wrong with
carrying
redheaded
one of the-
stepchildren?
You're right. I ask forgiveness from all the redheaded stepchildren out there.
Okay, there you go. Very good. I get you. The lesser network.
Right.
CBS owns 10 networks.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if they own
If
them or not.
CBS got the contract,
Whoever got
you
the
need
contract.
to put demands on which of their networks.
It's one of the arguments I have for a different sport, boxing. Why is boxing not popular? Because it never is on a network program anymore. It's always on these offbeat. Now they have the PBC now, but so it's on more networks or more channels, but they don't have a network contract. You don't see it on ABC, CBS, or NBC. It's the same thing, in my opinion, with baseball. It needs to be on a national scale, and maybe people watching, maybe people don't have those cable channels or high def channels.
Well,
You can
most
see
people
those.
don't. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of people don't have them,
And you
so,
can't listen to the game
Yeah.
unless you buy the package. So you can't, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so you can't really watch. I mean, you can watch it if your local network, your local sports people carry it on radio. If Westwood One has it, or your carrier carries Westwood One, like in our market, you
Right.
can listen to it because Westwood One carries it, and you can listen to there.
Who's on Westwood One? Where?
The
If you-
baseball,
But-
on AM 850, they're Westwood One channel, so
They-
they have baseball on it sometimes. So
The Rays are on there.
Yeah.
But who? I mean, for a local person who lives in
well, here's the other
Oklahoma,
thing: you have a smartphone.
And we have a lot of viewers from Oklahoma.
They write in all the time.
What out?
And if you have redheaded stepchildren in Oklahoma,
you apologize. You have a smartphone.
Yes.
Okay,
Well, I'm not smart enough to use it, but I got one.
You got a smartphone, right?
Yep.
You have internet at your house?
I sure do.
If you got internet at your house, you can find a local radio station from the market.
No, you can't because everything's preempted. I tried all season long to listen to Dodger, listen to Vince Scully. Every
You can't
time.
find Westwood One. You can't
No,
find.
no,
it
doesn't
doesn't
broadcast the
No,
games. It
because
does not
the baseball
broadcast the
package
games.
it dominates has the rights.
they will put some tape show that was on this afternoon
Yep.
on whatever.
Let's check it out for the playoffs.
Yeah.
No, they do it during the regular season.
I
because
understand that, but I mean the playoffs.
I actually tried to get.
Playoffs are a national thing. So now you got if you're
What game
Westwood
was it?
One and you're the radio network Westwood One. Now the only game that's being played is that. So I wonder
Right.
if with the playoffs you now have that national game in all markets across
That's a good question.
Westwood One and their whole network.
Because my frustrating part was I want to hear Vince Scully this year.
Cerebral palsy. Is that what he has?
I want to hear Vince Scully this year, so I went to the LA Dodger affiliates. I got their list, and one afternoon or one morning, whatever it was, I found the list that afternoon or evening. I went to this station online, this station on every single station. I went to 20 stations, all preempted.
Last week, if you remember, we have a good friend, a mutual friend between the three of us. His son, 20,
Steven.
late 20s, and he's in a wheelchair and whatnot. And part of one of the Make-A-Wish things, and through one of the local television stations, he got to go into the booth.
Radio, by the way.
Radio
booth,
station. Right.
radio booth at a Rays game. They treated him. The whole family went down to Tampa, went up in the booth, and we wanted to listen to it. And obviously, it wasn't there because
Preempted for volleyball or something.
there was some show on the local Rays thing. So I went online to their flagship station, WDAE, and I get it, Rays baseball, Rays home of, Rays baseball, clicked on it. The live game is not presented because of contractual obligation, and that was during the regular season. So every that station is on live 24 hours a day, except for when the Rays are
And
on.
my argument is this: they say, "Oh, well, because of the rights." But if I'm watching the Dodgers on television, let's say I can just watch it on TV or just radio. If I listen to radio, they have a commercial for Hardee's or back out there's Jack in the Box. Well,
In and Out.
In and Out, whatever it is. I would support maybe local Hardee's here if I heard that commercial. So who says that the chain?
You
of-
wouldn't support the local In and Out.
Well, not
No, 'cause we don't have one here.
close here. But my whole point is Hardee's and Jack in the Box or In and Out is the same thing. Well, we won't get the advertising money, but they are getting the advertising money. LA's a huge market, and I could afford $200 to listen to radio this year.
Right.
It's
No,
ridiculous.
and that's the one thing. MLB has really. I've always said, and it's people I worked with.
I should have let you know that I have Sirius and I could have given you the password.
yeah.
Well,
it would be great.
I really
bad.
I really
I'm sorry
believe-
about that.
And,
It's
and
okay.
I
We're
have
still
people
friends.
I worked with. I have associates I worked with, and actually still some friends. And I really do believe MLB, and it starts with the Cubs have the best record in baseball. Mm-hmm. The Cubs will have home field right now against whoever wins the game tonight.
Sure.
And then if they win that series, they will have home field in the National League Championship Series.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
However, they won't have home field in the World Series
No.
because the All-Star game was won by some players, actually, that aren't even in the postseason right now because that's the way base. And that was a move made by MLB. The DH was a move, the interleague, all that stuff. And I truly believe that MLB Public Relations
It's killing it.
is killing their.
You're killing the game. So
Killing
bring
our
back
sport.
pure baseball and make Julio happy. Ditch the designated hitter. Get rid of interleague games for me. I don't know
Yes.
what you can do for Bob.
All of the above.
And we can go back to real baseball.
And
about
get
60
the
years
games
ago.
off the TBS.
Put the game.
National Network.
Put the games on national networks.
Amen.
And tell them that as you go. So, hey, listen, we're out of time. That's what that buzzer means. Hard to believe again. So, who's going to win?
We need a
Cubs.
Can we go over
Oh,
like?
tonight?
Can we stick
Giants.
around for one more minute because I need Rich Renteria? What's wrong with him?
Nothing's wrong with him per se, but I think if you have a guy on a coaching staff and your head coach gets fired, you should not hire one of the guys on his staff to be the next head coach, because that says to other people, hey, I may not like the way you're doing it, so I'm just going to kind of sit back over here and underneath I'm going to be lobbying with some players. I'm going to be their buddy, and the next thing you know, you get fired and I get hired.
Ed Orgeron?
Same thing. Every place he's been. Every place he's been. Every place.
And I'll tell you, the interesting thing with Rich Renteria and Ventura steps down, and they brought him up, and from all accounts, he has decided to stop coaching and managing for personal reasons or whatever. He was not fired, and whatnot, and they brought up Renteria. But I do remember speaking to Burl Yarborough, general manager for the San Antonio Missions AA Texas League, and Renteria was his manager for a couple years, and he said, in my 20 whatever years, if this isn't a major league manager, the only guy, he said that about two guys, and one was Ron Renicky, who I believe is
He's pretty good.
is a pretty good manager, and he liked him, and it's neat that he finally got his.
Yeah, so if
got
he
his
doesn't
shot,
want to,
and we'll see.
if that's true and he wants to step down, so be it. Steps down, and that may be the difference in that he didn't get fired; he just stepped away. And so in that case, then maybe you do hire from within to keep the continuity that everybody's there. So if it really was his deal, then that's the case. A couple of managers already got let go this year. There's going to be a few more let go in the next few weeks. The carousel's going to start turning. We'll talk about that maybe next week along with the playoffs.
Thanks for sticking around an extra minute. Next week, have fun, play ball.
Play ball. Bye bye.